Afternoon, on a summer bench. The bench looked like it had been in the same spot since the park was built. The green paint had peeled and flaked for too many summers, and the boards were so they stung to Roberto's satin cotton shirt when he sat on them. He shifted once, searching for the least spot, then gave up and let it settle on his back. Across the gravel path, the fountain emitted gentle sprays of water. Children in brightly colored t-shirts darted through the spray, their cries rising and falling like seagulls. Roberto watched them without envy. The children exhausted him. Their noise reminded him of how quiet his apartment was every evening. He had come to the park because the office air conditioning had broken at noon and the supervisor had sent everyone home. Instead of climbing the 5 floors to his apartment, he had walked 3 blocks west and bought a lemonade that was already sweating in his hand. Here he was, 238, the sun parked directly above him like an iron lid, and the only sheer bench was occupied by an elderly man he'd never seen before. The man was wearing a light blue shirt, open at the collar, exposing the loose skin of his throat. His belly pressed firmly against the front of his jacket, but the fabric looked expensive, the kind that forgave wrinkles. He held out on his knees and stared at the gravel as if he were counting the stands. Roberto hesitated. There was room. More than enough space, actually, but he felt a slight embarrassment at stepping into someone else's silence. The old man's stillness was complete, like a photograph that had forgotten to move. Roberto cleared his throat. "Can uno sit down?" The man raised his head. His eyes were black, sunken in a face so close that the skin shone. For a moment he looked surprised, as if the question had jolted him out of a reverie. Then the corners of his mouth twitched. "Not at all. The bench belongs to the city, last he checked." The voice was dry, polite, with a distinctly local accent. Roberto sat down, leaving a polite space between them. The wood creaked. A warm pine smell rose from the boards. For a minute neither of them spoke. A sprinkler turned on nearby, casting silvery arcs across the grass. The old man studied the water with the same concentre and even the gravel. Roberto sipped his soda. The feet tasted harsh and metallic after walking in the sun. "It's terrible today," Roberto finally said. "Yes." The man lifted his hat, wiped the band with a folded handkerchief, and put it back. "But the light is beautiful. It reminds me of my wife's kitchen in August. She'd leave the windows open and the tiles would fog up." The word wife floated between them like a sudden little cloud. Roberto nodded because he didn't know what else to do. The old man's fingers tightened on the brim of his hat, then relaxed. "She has gone," the man adjudged, as if Roberto had asked. 3 months now. The cancer has moved faster than the trains she loves so much. "I'm sorry." Roberto meant it, the words coming out flat as always. The old man shrugged. "Everyone is sorry. The bank sent flowers. The priest sent prayers. The neighbors sent lasagna until Uno told them the freezer was full." He gave a short, humorless laugh. "It seems like grief is an expiration date. After a month they stop asking how you are. After 2 they talk to you as if you were already cured." Roberto slowly turned the soda bottle, watching the condensation drip onto his thumb. "My father died 2 years ago. People meant well, but they ran out of words quickly." The older man looked at him, assessing him. "Walter," he said. "Roberto," the younger man replied. Walter reached into a fanny pack and pulled out a small stainless steel canteen. "Water," he said, anticipating the question. "Doctor has orders, but it still tastes like metal. You can drink some." Roberto hesitated only a second. The canteen felt cool against the palm of his hand. He drank, swallowed, and handed it back. "Thanks." They sat in silence again, but it was easier now, the kind of silence that didn't itch to be filled. A light breath arose and made the planet trees tremble. Somewhere a radio was playing an old song that Roberto only half recognized. "Do you work around here?" Walter asked finally. "Office on Via Marconi. Accounting. Nothing special. Roberto smiled without showing his teeth. Their conditioning went out today, so they kick-started it out. He was going to go and look at the chilling fun, but the park seemed kinder. He had the kind of job where their conditioning never broke. Bank manager. They kept the cars happier than the people. Walter ran a thumb over his flask. Retired last year. He thought he'd travel with my wife, see the lakes, maybe Provence. Instead, he sit on the benches and watch other people as kids. The bitterness was faint, more tired than angry. Roberto felt it anyway. He looked at Walter's shoes, shiny brown leather, the city dust already grey in the toes, and the Nicreas still retaining his pants despite the heat. Everything about the man spoke of a life spent keeping things in order. Do you come here often? Roberto asked. Every day after lunch. Less noise than the coffee, and the pigeons don't expect conversation. Walter's mouth twitched again, closer to a real smile this time. Besides, the statue of Garibaldi watches over you. He was a widower, too. You know, his first wife died of typhus. He remarried, but people forget it. Roberto laughed, surprised at himself. You and Garibaldi, keeping fit. Someone's too. Walter replaced the cap on the flask. His fingers were thick, and his wedding ring was still shiny. And you? Married? Kids? Or is a canteen too busy? Neither. He tried living with a woman once. It lasted 8 months. She said Uno balanced the toothpaste tube better than he balanced her mood swings. Roberto scratched the back of his neck, embarrassed. I think I'm better with numbers. Walter studied him for a long time. Numbers don't ask you how you feel on a Sunday afternoon, when the light hurts your eyes. The sentence fell between them like a stone dropped into stagnant water. Roberto felt the ripples. He looked away, toward the grass, where a child was trying to push a plastic pickup truck over the sprinkler bumps. The baby's mother was lurking there, arms outstretched, ready to catch him. He should go home, Roberto said, but didn't he move? Walter nodded, also motionless. The 8 will pass at 6. If you wait, the ice cream stand will open. They still make pistachios the old-fashioned way, without the green coloring. Roberto found himself smiling. He haven't had decent pistachios since Uno was a kid. Then stay, Walter said simply. Eat by it. Consider compensation for sharing your afternoon. They stayed. The sprinkler went off, leaving the grass fragrant and bruised. Walter talked about his wife, her stubborn gardenias, the way she hummed while ironing, the train readers they never took. Roberto listened, sometimes responding with short anecdotes. The supervisor whistled off key. The cat from the 4th floor was left on his window sill. The world grew between them like moss, slow, steady, without needing permission. When the kiosk opened, the sky had softened to a hazy gold. They walked together, their shoes shuffling on the gravel. Walter insisted on paying, handing out the kinds with the same careful precision he might once have used to sign a loan. 2 paper cups of ice cream, green the color of withered leaves. They found a table in the shade and sat down again. The pistachio was good, sweet, grainy, with real dried fruit. Roberto scraped the bottom of the cup and wondered why this seemed easier than any convenient idea in the past few months. Walter licked the spoon and put it down. Tomorrow, he said, some bench, some time. He'll bring a second bottle of water, and maybe the shadow will move not to spare Stati Uniti boat. Roberto looked at him. Walter had tired but vivid eyes, a clean-shaven, almost shiny face, a reassuring, paternal look, the ring on his finger still shining, his belly rising and falling with every breath. They felt something open in their chests, not a large one, just a small door they hadn't noticed before. The two looked at each other with a knowing smile, as if their lives could finally change and their loneliness was destined to end. A hug between them, almost confidential, left the scent of Walter's aftershave on Roberto's face. Tomorrow, he agreed. Roberto returned home lighter than when he arrived, as if they had lifted a small weight from his shoulders. Behind him, the fountain often began to gush again, the water catching the last ray of sunlight, casting brief rainbow in their as Walter imposing figure receded.